Hello everyone, today we'll set up a worm bin right in your home and I'll show you a cheap, easy and clean way to keep worms in your house right outside in the yard. I set up a worm bin about 3 days ago just to make sure it doesn't heat up. Today we'll check up on the bin and also add worms to the bin. But first let me show you what goes in the bin. First, I'm going to use this tote. This is about $5.50 from Walmart, or you can buy it from any hardware store. And we're going to use a drill with a 1/2-inch bit. And we're going to drill holes at the bottom of the tote. Drilling holes at the bottom of the tote is very important. In case something goes wrong in your worm bin, the worms should have an escape route to escape into the dirt from those holes. To start, I'm going to keep the lid intact so that when I drill holes at the bottom, all the plastic shavings are collected on the lid so I can get rid of them easily. The holes at the bottom of the bin are ready. So to get started, we're going to add a layer of dirt at the bottom of the tote. And that is to deter any pests from entering into the tote. If you add kitchen scraps such as banana peels and apple cores at the bottom of the tote, it's going to attract a lot of pests. So the very first step is to add dirt. The worms use the dirt as a grit to grind their food. So it is actually very beneficial for them. So a layer of dirt goes in, and then we're going to add a layer of compost. So we're going to mix the layer of compost in there. We're also going to add cardboard and toilet paper rolls as well. Cut the cardboard in small pieces and soak the cardboard in water before adding. For some reason, worms love cardboard. And we're going to add some toilet paper rolls. Then I also have coconut coir that I use to grow microgreens, and we are going to add that into the worm bin as well. The coconut coir retains the moisture and it will help keep perfect moisture level in the bin. Coconut coir goes in. If you do not use coconut coir to grow seed, you can buy a brick of coconut coir, expand it in water and add a little bit of it to your bin. Coconut coir is not required. However, it helps to keep the moisture in the bin. After all those layers, we are going to add some kitchen scraps, and all the green kitchen scraps go on top, and that is to prevent the bin from heating up. If you mix all the carbons and nitrogen together inside the bin, it'll cause the bin to heat up. It will start the hot compost process, which is what we don't want in a worm bin. Then we're gonna start adding our kitchen scraps. And the kitchen scraps also include paper towels as well. Then on top, we can also add pieces of bread as well. And we're going to add the greens right on top. The greens should never go at the bottom. And this is how the worm bin should look like. And then we're going to let it sit for a few days so that if it's going to heat up, it should heat up and then cool down. We are not going to add the worms right away. So we're going to let it sit and then add the worms about 3 to 4 days later. So we're going to sprinkle diatomaceous earth all around the worm bin, and it's going to deter any insect with exoskeleton from entering the worm bin. And it is an organic way to deter and also kill hard-shell insects like cockroaches and ants. The worms used for composting are called red wiggler worms, and you can order those online. You don't want to go into your yard and start collecting worms because they're most likely night crawlers. And night crawlers don't do well in confined spaces, hence they're not good for composting. I'm going to grab some of the red wigglers from my old bin. As you can see, my old bin is thriving. The worms have multiplied a lot in the bin. Now we're going to uncover the new bin. I always add a layer of coconut coir and paper towel to the top of the bin, and that is to keep the fruit flies away and retain moisture in the bin. As you can see, the bin hasn't heated up at all, so that's a really good sign. Now we can start adding worms to the bin. Make sure you add some of the worm castings with the worms to the new bin. After you've added the worms, cover it with coconut coir, paper towel, or a blanket of burlap. There you have it, our new bin is ready. Worms eat half of their body weight in food per day. I start the worm bin with generous amount of food scraps, and that is to keep the worms busy and also minimize the maintenance. You want to start your worm bin with at least 6 inches of depth. You want to make sure there's a lot of room in the bin for the worms, otherwise the worms are going to start escaping. I then keep adding the food scraps once a week in summers and once a month in winters as needed. Few things you should not add to your worm bins: any dairy or meat products, any citrus such as lemon and oranges, any onion and garlic, any peppers, and anything that contains oil or anything that is cooked. The fertilizer made by the worms, called worm casting, is the most nutrient-dense fertilizer for your plants. You can use the worms to turn kitchen scraps into black gold, the kitchen scraps that would otherwise go to landfill. Keeping worms is easy and a perfect way to make your own organic fertilizer. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, hit that like button. And if you really liked the video, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in another video.